My name is Margot C. LaPlante. I am 29 years old, and the morning my boyfriend told me his betrayal just happened was the morning I stopped confusing patience with love. For almost 2 years, I believed Lucas was the most grounded man I knew. When we first started dating, he was warm, funny, and easy to be around. He could turn an ordinary evening into something memorable, with one sarcastic comment and the crooked smile that always appeared when he knew he had made me laugh. We shared friends, hobbies, and plans. We had even talked about moving in together after my promotion. Then something changed, or perhaps he simply became tired of hiding who he had always been. It began with small things. He would scroll through his phone while we watched movies, smiling at messages he never showed me. He appeared in group photographs online but somehow never tagged me. When I asked about it, he rolled his eyes. "You're too sensitive, Margot." Or, "Not everything is about you." At first, I believed him. I told myself trust meant giving someone the benefit of the doubt, even when doing so made your stomach tighten. By the time our friend Ryan hosted his birthday party, Lucas and I were in that uncomfortable stage where the relationship looked normal from a distance, but felt hollow up close. Lucas had mentioned the party all week, mostly because Delaney would be there. She was part of our wider friend group, confident, flirtatious, and always surrounded by attention. Lucas often described her as hilarious, though the way he said her name had begun to bother me. When we arrived, he immediately came alive. He wore the dark shirt I once told him made his eyes stand out. Within minutes, he was beside Delaney, laughing too loudly while she rested one hand on his arm. I stood near the drinks with Mark and two other friends. Mark glanced across the room. "Everything okay between you two?" "Fine," I said. It was not fine. Later, I found Lucas in the kitchen while Delaney poured him another drink. They were standing close enough that their shoulders touched. "I'm heading home soon," I said. "I have work early." Lucas frowned as though I had interrupted him. "Already?" "I've been awake since 5. Are you coming?" He glanced at Delaney before answering. "I'll get a ride later. Everyone's still having fun." Then he smiled. "Don't be such a mom." The dismissal burned more than the words. I could have argued. I could have demanded he leave with me. Instead, I nodded. "Text me when you get home." "Relax," he said. "I'll be fine." I left alone. At home, I sat on the edge of my bed staring at my phone. No messages. I fell asleep sometime after 2 in the morning, waking repeatedly to check the screen. By 10:47, Lucas still had not returned. His side of the bed remained untouched. I called once. Voicemail. I called again. Nothing. Just before noon, my phone buzzed. Lucas had sent 4 words. "It just happened. I'm sorry." I stared at the message until the words stopped feeling real. There were so many things I could have asked. Where are you? Was it Delaney? How long had this been happening? But none of the answers would change the truth. He had made his choice. So I typed one word, "Okay." Then I blocked his number, his social media, his email, everything. An hour later, Mark called. His voice was cautious. "Margot, Lucas left the party with Delaney." "I know. He's telling people they were drunk and it just happened." I looked at the empty side of the bed. "He can tell people whatever he wants." "Are you okay?" "No." I paused. "But I will be." That night, I deleted every photograph of us, the holidays, the trips, the stupid selfies. I did not do it out of rage. I did it because, for the first time in months, I was no longer confused. Lucas had finally shown me who he was, and I believed him. The first week after I blocked Lucas felt like withdrawal. Every instinct told me to check his pages, reread old messages, and search for some explanation that would make the betrayal hurt less. I did none of it. Our mutual friends made complete distance impossible. Group chats still filled with gossip, and sometimes someone would send me a private message beginning with, "I'm sorry, but you should know." Lucas and Delaney did not wait long before making their relationship public. By the following weekend, They were appearing together at brunches, bars, and game nights with the same people Lucas and I had spent years around. I did not block our mutual friends, so fragments of their new relationship occasionally appeared in someone else's posts. Lucas sitting beside Delaney with his arm around her waist. Delaney leaning against him while they raised matching drinks. Both of them smiling as though their happiness had not been built on another person's humiliation. The first few photographs hurt. Then, they became predictable. At work, I buried myself in projects I had neglected while trying to rescue a relationship that was already ending. I returned to the gym, began sleeping properly, and stopped wasting entire nights wondering whether I had imagined the distance between us. Lucas started posting captions that sounded like excuses disguised as wisdom. Sometimes following your heart hurts people. Not everyone is meant to stay forever. New beginnings require courage. I knew who those messages were meant for. I never responded. When friends tried to provoke a reaction, I gave them nothing. Lucas says you were too serious, one of them told me. He said he needed someone more spontaneous. Then I'm glad he found what he needed. That usually ended the conversation. A month later, Ryan hosted a barbecue. I almost declined the invitation, but I refused to surrender every friendship and every familiar place simply because Lucas had behaved badly. When I arrived, he was already there. I had not seen him since the night of the party. He looked different. His hair was styled more carefully, his skin overly tanned, and his confidence seemed rehearsed rather than real. Delaney was absent. Lucas spent most of the afternoon hovering near groups I joined without directly speaking to me. Several times I caught him watching me. I never acknowledged it. I talked with friends, helped Ryan carry food outside, and laughed when something was genuinely funny. Mark leaned toward me. You're handling this better than anyone expected. I got tired of losing sleep over someone who had already made his decision. Across the yard, Lucas looked away quickly. That evening confirmed something important. He had wanted me to react. Anger would have proved I still cared. Jealousy would have reassured him that he still mattered. Silence gave him nothing. A few days later, Delaney's social media profile changed. First, the photographs of Lucas disappeared. Then, his account went private. Soon afterward, friends began mentioning arguments. Delaney had apparently called him possessive. Lucas accused her of being distant. They fought because each of them distrusted the other. It was almost inevitable. Their relationship began with betrayal, yet both expected loyalty once they were together. The real collapse happened on a Thursday evening. I was at the gym when my phone began vibrating. 3 missed calls from Mark. Several messages from our group chat. Did you see what Delaney posted? I had not. Curiosity finally won. Delaney had uploaded a photograph of herself at a bar with another man. Beneath it, she wrote, "Lesson learned. If he cheats with you, he'll probably cheat on you." Lucas was not tagged. He did not need to be. Within an hour, the post disappeared, but screenshots had already spread. The rest of the story arrived in fragments. Delaney had been seeing someone from her gym. Lucas discovered it and confronted her. He appeared outside her apartment screaming, demanding explanations, and insisting she had promised he was different. Someone recorded the argument. The video passed through private chats before the weekend. Mark sent it to me with one warning. You may not want to watch this. I watched once. Lucas stood beneath the apartment lights with tears on his face. You said I was different, he shouted. Delaney laughed and held her phone toward him. The scene should have felt satisfying. Instead, it felt empty. Lucas was experiencing the same confusion and humiliation he had handed to me, but seeing him hurt did not return the time I had wasted or repair what he had broken. It only confirmed that I had been right to leave. Within days, Lucas's social media went silent. No more inspirational captions, no photographs, no public confidence. Then mutual friends began contacting me. Lucas is really struggling. He says he wishes he could apologize. Delaney has been telling everyone he was desperate and easy to manipulate. My response never changed. I'm not interested. At Ryan's next gathering, Lucas appeared pale and exhausted. Conversations shifted when he entered. People avoided discussing Delaney around him. He stood near the kitchen while I talked with friends, waiting for an opening I had no intention of giving him. That night, a message request appeared from a new account. "I know you probably hate me, but please, can we talk?" I read it once. Then I locked my phone and went to bed. Months earlier, Lucas had chosen another woman and described the betrayal as something that simply happened. Now the consequences were happening to him. And for the first time, they had nothing to do with me. I never responded to Lucas's message. Not because I wanted to punish him. Not because I enjoyed watching him unravel. There was simply nothing left to discuss. He had already explained everything on the morning after Ryan's party. It just happened. Those words had ended the relationship more completely than any argument could have. For the next several weeks, Lucas kept trying. The first messages sounded remorseful. "I ruined everything. You were the only person who ever treated me well. I wish I could take it back." When I blocked one account, another appeared. Then the messages changed. "You do not have to forgive me, but you should at least let me explain. Everyone is judging me. You are better than this." When guilt failed, anger replaced it. "You act like you are perfect. You gave up on us too easily. You never fought for me." That final accusation almost made me laugh. He wanted me to fight for a relationship he had abandoned without hesitation. I blocked every new account. Our mutual friends became the messengers he could no longer reach directly. At gatherings, Lucas cornered them and asked what I had said about him. The answer was always the same: nothing. Ryan told me Lucas became furious when he learned I had not insulted him, exposed private details, or tried to turn the friend group against him. "He says your silence makes him feel like he never mattered," Ryan said. "He mattered," I replied. "Then he made a choice." Lucas claimed he wanted closure. But closure was not a conversation where he could explain himself until I softened. Closure was the block button. The friend group gradually stopped inviting him to smaller gatherings. I never asked them to exclude him. His constant drama did that for me. Every evening became about Delaney. Sometimes he blamed her. Sometimes he blamed himself. Eventually, he blamed me for not forgiving him. People became exhausted. I heard he contacted Delaney again too. She ignored him. Soon afterward, Lucas posted a vague message about how cruel people move on after causing damage. The irony was almost perfect. Months passed. I focused on work, the gym, and the quiet routines I had rebuilt. I began dating again, slowly. Nothing serious, but enough to remind me that conversations did not have to feel like interrogations, and affection did not have to be earned through anxiety. One Saturday, Ryan hosted another gathering. Lucas arrived late. He looked worn down. His clothes hung loosely, and the confidence that once filled every room had disappeared. When he saw me, he stopped. For 1 second, we simply looked at each other. Then I returned to my conversation. Later that evening, I left through the side gate. "Margot." I stopped. Lucas stood a few feet behind me, his hands shoved into his pockets. "Hey," he said. "Hey." His voice trembled. I wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. I nodded once. "I know." His eyes searched my face. "That's all? What else is there?" He swallowed. "I thought maybe someday we could start over." For a moment, I remembered the man I once believed he was. The sarcastic jokes, the late-night drives, the plans to share an apartment. Then I remembered the untouched side of the bed and 4 words on a screen. "I think we ended exactly the way we were supposed to," I said. Tears filled his eyes. "I really did love you." "Maybe you did." That hurt him more than anger would have, because love that disappears the moment attention arrives from someone else is not the kind of love I want. "Take care of yourself, Lucas." I turned and walked away. He did not follow. The next morning, Mark texted me. "You handled that better than I would have." I looked at the message and smiled. I had not spared Lucas because I was better than him. I spared myself because revenge would have kept me emotionally connected to someone I had already released. Life had exposed him publicly. Delaney had humiliated him in almost the exact way he had humiliated me. Our friends had seen who he became when attention disappeared. I did not need to add anything. Lucas left a party with another woman and told me it just happened. Months later, when I stopped loving him, stopped checking his pages, and stopped caring whether he regretted his choice, that happened too. The difference was that my ending did not destroy me. It gave me peace.